Well, this will be the first time I see it sit on all 4 tires. Wow, that thing sits tall. Well, there's suspension movement. That's all that matters to me. There has been a lot of effort to go into this thing that I have done so far to get it to the point where it is. Yeah, that's definitely the wrong bolt. I'm just going to put it in. The motor mounts have been redone twice. The front motor mount, I didn't really pass it through tech, so that was a big no-no. And then I ended up having to rebuild it because the first time I put it in, I centered the motor, and should never center motors, should measure axles. And then I had to move the whole motor 1.5 inches, and then I had to redo all the motor mounts again. So, needless to say, motor mounts are fine now. Pretty sure it's going to pass pretty much all the rules I want it to pass. I have all the suspension in. I have it sitting on its own suspension. That is Camry Todd pads, Lumina struts and spindles, Lumina axles, Lumina steering rack. I would do stuff different a little bit. Again, I centered the steering rack. I should have just pushed it off a little bit to one side. I didn't measure. It's fully welded, so I'm not going to cut it off again, but it's in there. We have the steering shaft hooked up, so when you turn the wheel, the tires turn. Just like that. Not sure how sharp it is compared to factory Camry steering, but it works. Front motor mounts. Haven't fully decided or talked to them on what I'm allowed to do. I would honestly just like to make these out of, keep this mount, just extend it a bit, or just go straight from here to there. I'm not sure what they're going to allow me to do. I would also like to build a mount off of here to the block as well, but we haven't got that far yet. Pretty much, I've done everything that is required to install this motor. The stuff I haven't shown you yet is I have all the wiring done. I have this is not a 98 motor, this is a 97 motor. I've purchased a 98 harness. I took the 98 computer, sent it out to be tuned. I got a standalone. All I'm about to do now is throw a positive cable into this, get it all routed to where I want it to go, and I don't have any fuel going to it yet. I'm imagining I can just put some quick start in the intake. I'd like to hear this thing fire tonight. I want to make sure it's in park, to be honest. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's park right there. All the way back is park. Oh, that just come out. Yeah, that's definitely park. So now that we have park, I'd like to get this thing to run. It's going to have some half-decent sized vacuum leaks right about now, but I'm fine with that. I'm going to run the positive cable. I'm going to put a battery into it. I should have a battery sitting around here somewhere. I see one on the ground. And we'll go from there. So just give me about another 20 minutes and we'll see what we can do. We are running at a quick start, but I'm just about ready to give this thing a test. So I'll turn the computer on. So the kit that I bought, I'm going to talk about it in a bit. Is that light right at you guys? Sorry about that. The kit I bought is so simple. This is all I need. Computer on, start. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of ether into it. That sounds good, but I'm almost out of ether. I'm pretty happy with ether. Whatever I have left, which is not very much. I might throw a fuel tank into this. Just quickly. Don't judge. Just quickly. Give me like another 10 minutes. Turn the computer off. Computer on. let's get some fuel to this thing, because the ether's hurting my eyes. So I've got a fuel pump into it. The lines are so rotted. It's out of one of my old Derby cars that sat outside for like 2 years now. We're just going to hook up the positive. I have a Jimmy rig, that's for sure. Okay, we're pumping fuel. You can hear it. Let's turn on the computer. There's quite a bit of vacuum leaks, and this is some very bad fuel. There's some big vacuum leaks. But cylinder number 2, which is, I'm pretty sure it's this one. 3. Pretty sure it's this one. You're not firing. So what I'd like to see, if it's the coil packs or maybe just a bad plug. That fuel is horrible. I can smell it. Okay, so let's see if we're just down a coil pack. Try starting this thing up. Okay, it's got spark. Maybe it's a bad plug. Just going to disconnect that. But it runs! I'm scared to make this thing try to move on its own as of right now. I know that it's definitely not ready for it. So it runs. That's a good start. I gotta pull that plug out. Am I gonna be able to get down in there? So one of my buddies has been running Luminas up here for quite some time, and he's been having some really good luck with them. And when I talked to him and told him I wanted to do this project, we actually talked about this thing quite a bit. And this has been in the works since probably May of me trying to gather the parts I needed to be able to start doing the swap, to him getting stuff done. I don't know if that plugs in. Let's put it in there and try it. But this has been a long time coming, and it honestly feels amazing. I feel accomplished. And the thing hasn't even moved yet. Let's see if we have sparks there. Yep, I got some really good spark there. So, I wonder what that's all about. Maybe the firing order's off. I don't know. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about these Luminas. But I will tell you, that's some damn strong spark coming out of this thing. So anyways, we've been in talks for this for probably 6 months, trying to get this thing all set up and everything like this. And from everything to tuning this computer, because it's got the safety delete out of it. It's got a couple of other things done to it. It's got the easy harness where I just have the simple push button and a toggle switch. There's been a lot of effort that has gone into this. And honestly, it feels so nice to have this thing running. But tomorrow we're going to try to diagnose and see why it's doing that. I don't know if my firing order's off. We'll have to see. I don't know. Might actually just Google that quickly. But if you guys don't know who's done the tuning for me, it's number 55. Josh Archibald and Kevin Archibald. They've opened up like a small fab shop out of their backyard. They've been making Camry and Lumina headers for about a year now. They've also been making some Honda Civics, some Ecotechs. I'm going to try to get some very exclusive ones that nobody else is making. That will be announced later if they can get it done, because I have a prototype vehicle I'm going to bring to them and try to get them to make one. Let me just look up Camry firing order. Sorry, Lumina. Well, I've got it running better. It still doesn't sound that right to me. I know there's a couple issues still with this. One being that gas is almost 2 years old. So I think that's one of the big things that's wrong with this right now. But other than that, she runs. I forgot where I was talking and what I was talking about Josh. But the Archibalds have started making headers, and they're going to be releasing some new ones this winter. He's contemplating on starting to release and sell harnesses for this. Now, this will not work on every Camry. This will, W body. This will only work on like the newer ones, 98, 99 kind of thing. This is a 97, but I have a 98 harness on it, and I have a 98 computer all hooked up to it. So if you guys are wanting stuff for your W body, talk to Josh. I think he's going to start releasing stuff. I'm super excited for it. I got my fingers crossed, hoping that he's going to do it. We'll have to wait and see. But I know a lot of you guys are saying carburate this thing. I've read all the comments. I've seen you guys post on Facebook. I've seen everything about you guys telling me to carburet this. I can't. Now let me explain this. Let me explain this. The rules around me, 2 places say I can carburet it. 3 other places state in the rules injected cars must stay injected. That's why I've spent all this money to get this tuned computer. They also say that no interchanging brands. So Chevy and Chevy, Ford and Ford, Dodge and Dodge. Now I see a loophole. There's nothing about Toyota. Now there's also another loophole. The Pontiac Vibe and the Toyota Matrix are the same car. The Toyota Corolla and Chevy Prism are the same car. Now Chevy doesn't have something in North America that runs on the Camry platform. But in my eyes, because Chevy and Toyota are partners, they mesh together. So that means I can put a Chevy motor in a Chevy car. Just like you can put a Chevy motor into a Pontiac or a Chevy motor into an Oldsmobile, or you can put a Ford motor into a Lincoln. They're all the same car. I don't know if it's going to work for me at the shows, but that's how I'm going to try to argue my point. Toyota and Chevy mesh together. Now other shows out there say I can put whatever motor I want as long as I don't have protectors. This motor does not have any protectors on it, so that falls under that rules. The motor mounts have been the big issue up here right now that I've been trying to, I think decode is probably the best word. But as of right now, it runs. This thing here has been a milestone to get it to where it is, and I'm just ecstatic. That's the proper word now. I'm just ecstatic that this thing runs. I can start going farther and farther. I can start asking more questions at different promoters. I have a new belt coming in for serpentine belts. I have a brand new O2 sensor because I don't delete them. I just put a dummy one in. But apparently this one here is off of 96 and older. And I bought this brand new for Cassandra's 95 Buick last year. This one here is a 3-wire temp sensor. So I'm going to have to go buy another one of those. So I'm probably going to go on Rock Auto tonight. Put in some, orders. Got to loop some rad hoses. I got to get rid of the rear brakes. I got to get a different throttle cable because the Toyota one doesn't reach. I got to get some really good gear clamps for the brakes on this, the power brakes. I got to get another shifter because I actually lent out my last shifter to a guy named Wade, and he put it in a Torcel. He had an ad on Facebook saying that he wanted to have a shifter for a Torcel, and I said, you know what, it's the end of the year and I'm not using this shifter. Take it, my friend, return it when you're done. He's actually offered to buy me a brand new one because he likes it so much. But I like it a lot too, so I kind of want it back. But anyway, so that's how she goes right now, and I'm just super excited. My goal is to have this thing running today, and I feel like I've been rambling on for about 15 minutes now, but you know what? I don't care. I'm happy. This thing runs. I think I'm missing a little bit of things, but it's running. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what's next, to be honest. I don't know if I should do shifter next. I don't know if I should clean up the wiring. I should put an actual fuel system into it where the fuel's not 2 years old. The fuel that came out of this thing was like almost the same color as this Sawzall blade. Sorry, this X-Acto knife. So it's quite yellow, and I'm happy. It runs. I don't know if it drives. As soon as we get this thing running and driving, we're going to go beat this thing up. I'm going to take it to a gravel pit just down the street. I'm going to jump it. I'm going to make sure all the motor mounts are tight. I'm going to make sure that if it can happen in the derby ring, I'm going to prepare for it. I want to see if the struts are going to blow apart. I want to see if the axles are going to separate. I want to see if the motor mounts are going to let go. I really hope those motor mounts don't let go. So we're still a couple weeks away from that. I do want to do it before the snow flies. We'll have a couple small snowstorms, but they'll all disappear. What I got left to do for that: shifters, brakes, steering column, power brakes, alternator belt, radiator. There's a lot of stuff to do before we do that, but as of right now, steering's done, struts are done, engine runs mint. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. She's running and she's alive. Take care.